so a lot of players learn to appreciate the PP19. But with time you also realize that the weapon has some major drawbacks, especially the slow fire rate and the small magazines. That's where the MPX comes in. It can go longer and faster. And all of that for not that many rubles more. So basically it's just a PP19 on steroids. And today we're gonna talk about why you should be playing the MPX. It's a very versatile weapon and a lot to go through. So let's start with the modability. The first amazing thing with the MPX is that basically it comes already pre-modded. You don't need any rails to attach tactical devices at all, and you can mount a lot of them. Same goes for the sight. You don't need a rail or anything, you can just mount it and you're good to go. So basically buy an MPX, attach what you need, and voila, you have a very good gun. This also means you can use the gun with trader level whatever, because you have no requirements holding you back. For example, with other guns you need certain rails to be able to mount grips or whatever. With the MPX you don't have any of those problems. And it's basically what I use for all my money runs, to have something to fight whatever the game throws at me. In this case here it's Glukar and his boys. And then whenever you kill a scav player or whatever, you can pick his attachments and upgrade your MPX. If you find something in raid, upgrade your MPX. But basically you can go in with a naked MPX, and if you're lucky you go out with a fully modded version of the gun without paying a single ruble. And you can also use it to carry other players' modifications. Well, you could also mod the MPX to a low recoil gun, and you can make ridiculously low recoil builds with this, but it comes as a very high price tag, so I would not recommend it. Talking about prices, how much do we have to pay for it? And this is really cool. If you're like me and you play mainly AK, you don't have that much usage for dollars. Or you have a lot of dog case in your stash that just rot away. But now you can buy a really cool gun with all of those things, because first off, at Peacekeeper level 1 you can trade the MPX for 7 dog tags, making it an insanely good early wipe gun. But you can also buy the weapon straight away from Peacekeeper level 2 for around $400. That's around 40,000 rubles or one SAS drive sold to Peacekeeper. So pretty cheap actually for what you get. And if you don't know how to get flash drives, SAS drives, those books and whatever, just check my Hatchling money run guide and you will have tons of those things. There's also another trade at Mechanic level 1 where you get a pretty heavily modded MPX, but I think that trade is not worth it. Otherwise you can buy the already silenced MPX for 40,000 on the flea market. And with time you stop seeing SAS drives, flash drives and so on. The only thing you see is, oh, another MPX, nice. Then let's talk about the bullets. And as so often on this channel we talk about the 9mm. And most people use the PST. Now the problem with PST is simple. It doesn't have a lot of penetration and not much flash damage either, meaning if somebody is heavily geared you're pretty much out of options. With the Quakemaker or the RIP ammunition you can just aim at the legs, and no matter how heavily geared he is, he will drop to the ground. Alternatively you can use the 7N31, it's extremely expensive, but therefore it penetrates pretty much everything very fast in the game. But how good is the bullet really? Because it has only 39 penetration, right? So we made a test, and for that we have this brave soldier here that is ready to bite the bullet for science. Alright, let's carry on before I start crying. So while shooting him we can see that the armor takes a significant amount of damage. That's a level 6 armor and a pretty good one. But still, it goes down very fast, and with just 8 bullets it's pretty much destroyed. Guys, 8 bullets, that's insane. With a fire rate of 850 RPM, that means that just 0.57 seconds and the armor is gone with this bullet. That's brutal. Then let's talk about the close range potential of the gun, and do I even have to say it? The gun is amazing. It absolutely shreds from early wipe until late wipe. Of course there are better guns in the game, but not for that price tag in my opinion. It's absolutely amazing how much damage this gun can put out. It also got me a ton of gear. And in the clips you see I'm using PSD, well, shame on me. But that's why you see a lot of hits that seem to do no damage. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to hit head eyes, that's just my goal with it. I would not recommend it as it, well, you will die a lot. But what makes this gun so good? Basically, it has 850 RPM, which is very good. It's the same as an HK, one of the best guns in the game, but it only has 35 recoil. And that's the insane part. There are not a lot of guns in the game that can go down to recoil that low while having that high of an RPM. Additionally, you can use drum mags, so you can shoot even more and longer. It's absolutely insane and it shreds. I've used this gun, this wipe, extensively, and I have to say I love it. I killed heavy guys, I played the new hatchling horde mode with this gun, or I don't know what this was. I fought against really heavy dudes, I fought against bush campers in their natural habitat. And of course, with all those budget guns nowadays, I have to include a meta M4 kill. So there you go. Just remember that you make sure the gun is on full auto, otherwise it can be a bit embarrassing. Then what about range? And well, it's an SMG, so range is not its expertise, and that's because the MOA is pretty high, meaning the accuracy is low, because MOA says how much spread the gun has. You can kinda counter that with a longer barrel, but it's insanely expensive. Yes, it gets you a MOA that's better than an M4 even, but for what price? And the problem isn't fixed with this, because the 7N31 is a pretty slow bullet. With 560 meters per second, it's way slower than even the PS ammo for the AK, which flies at almost double the speed. And you can see that when you try to hit something at range. Even though the crosshair is totally on point, the bullet goes somewhere, just not on target. That's first because the bullet is very heavy and slow, meaning it has a lot of drop, and the MOA is just high, meaning the spread is pretty wide. Just keep that in mind if you see a target far away that you might not be able to hit. So in conclusion, the MPX is just amazing. I don't know why nobody, or at least nobody that I meet in raid, is using it. Even the game seems to think that it's just not worth the render time, but let me tell you, this gun is a sleeper. It's amazingly good, especially for people that like to have low recoil, but on the other hand don't want to spend thousands and thousands of rubles for a meta M4 or HK to be able to get down to 40 recoil maybe. So all in all, I really urge you to try this weapon. And who knows, maybe you kill somebody with a meta M4. And there you go. So that's it for the MPX. I hope you enjoyed the show as always. If you did, thumbs up. Tell me in the comment section what your experience with the MPX is. If you have questions, join our Discord. And otherwise, subscribe for more. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.